Book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. I want to start off by giving all praises. Let me say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call halal la Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Racha Kodash. Double honors to my apostles, elder bishops, here in Great Millstone, who rule well. Salutations to the Lord's hopeful elect, scattered abroad. I'm the brother Taza War from the GMS New Jersey camp, and I'm just here with a quick video, more like a reaction or a report, if you want to say. It looks like Donald Trump is possibly going to declare martial law around the date of 4/20, April 20th. Now, this is what I've just got wind to yesterday night, and he's gonna break it down, so we're gonna watch this video together. And hey, martial law, Trump the man to do it. Now they're saying it's gonna be, he might do it. I guess the signs are leading up that he will do it for the emergency of the migrants, but eventually, it would turn into domestic, so meaning, problems with the domestic, meaning here in America, as far as regular citizens not obeying by the rules. So anyway, I know I'm doing a little bit of talking, but we're gonna watch this video and see what we can get from it. This is good news to us, of the hopeful elect. This is good news. Those that are the body of believers who believe in Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, because Lord willing, he declared martial law that'll lead into Jacob's trouble. And also too, brothers, remember Elder Apostle Tahar, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, he coined this year the year, the hopeful year of our deliverance and the death or the punishment of Esau Edom. So if martial law is declared, remember persecution. I remember the beginning of this year, the spirit of persecution was in the air when Trump became the president. Betrayal. Those that love, those that who you think you love, or who you think love you, betraying you. Persecution. Hey, this could possibly, Lord willing, be that year. Now, of course, keep in mind the force of the MOTB, has to come to pass first before we get up out of here. And the acts of World War III is taking place as well. I was watching the Canadian Prepper, and he did a show yesterday, recorded like an hour in, and he was basically saying they had stealth bombers hovering over Iran, and this very act, could lead to the fist fight of World War III, because World War III has already started. The terrorists and back and forths, the cyber attacks from each of the countries, it's already started. But who's going, throw the first punch as far as the fight, So it's a lot taking place. I'm thinking about 2 Peter 3. Let's just get that real quick. 2 Peter 3, and the brother Shalimar yesterday in the midweek camp brought this out. This is 2 Peter 3 and 10. It says, "But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat." It says, "And the works that are therein shall be burned up." And the works that are therein shall be burned up. Right? So scriptures tell us that Yahweh Shai comes like a thief in the night. when people are unaware of Trump possibly declaring martial law on 420. People are unaware that we are in we are in the fire of World War III. People are unaware that they're going to be forced to take a micro C hit, which is the MOTB, the mark of the beast. People are unaware. So they're going to be unaware when Yahweh Shai return, when he appear. This is verse 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person are you to be in all holy conversation and godliness? So seeing that, the understanding the Lord gave us is that America, aka Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, North America is going to be that lake of fire. And knowing that this place is going to be burned up, what manner of person should you be? Right? It says in all holiness and all holy conversation and godliness. Now the word conversation goes into conduct. It's not talking about speech. It's talking about mannerism. So which way should you manner yourself? Scriptures say, what's that? Romans 12, being renewed in the mind and washed by the word, giving thy body as a living sacrifice. These things matter. And everybody that's overlooking it, I think it's a joke. You know, when Trump, hopefully, Lord willing, declare martial law around 420, so they say, which we're going to get into. We're going to watch this video. You know, Lord willing, you know, shit get real. All right. It says, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heaven and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. And that's exactly what we look for. You know, I pray, man. I pray Yahweh Shai. You know, do a little bit of straightening. How my man say it, amigos, just a little bit of straightening, you know, on this wicked ass society. You know, punish the wicked and establish righteousness and order, because we sure need it. You know, we need righteousness and order in this earth. There's no other way to live. You know, wickedness is played out, and this place is due for a cleanse. It's due. So it says, wherefore, beloved, seeing that you look for such things, be diligent that you may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. So the key word there is be diligent in the work. You know, have good deeds, do the right thing. You know, the elect is going to do the right thing. So without further ado, let's play this video.
All right, guys, we got to talk about this. This is something that really caught my eye, and I'm curious what you all think of it. So Mind War is the name of this outlet by a guy named Jim Stewartson, and he oftentimes says things that pique my interest that, you know, I have to look into. So what he says is there's already a tremendous amount of evidence that Trump is planning on declaring martial law on 4/20, April 20th. Now, he would do that via basically the Insurrection Act, which, remember, he tried to invoke the last time he was in office, but he was surrounded by people who are not insane, and they were like, we're not deploying, because the Insurrection Act will let you deploy the U.S. military in our own streets against our own people, right? It's martial law. It's what it is.
Listen.
And they said, we're not doing that.
Elder Apostle Gabar brought out years ago, I heard it from him first, martial law, going into it means what? Warlike. Also, you know, looking up things, because apostles teach us to look up things. When they declare martial law, they own your property, cars, you know, your houses. You don't own anything, and you don't own yourself, because you are considered property. So if Trump declared martial law because of other reasons, he can, like he said, activate the Insurrection Act. He's gonna get into it, and I'm gonna let it play. All right, I'm gonna let it play. But martial law, right? You know, it's definitely gonna bring Jacob's trouble, Lord's willing. So anyway, let's play.
How to do it over George Floyd protests, and he was basically blocked by his generals, right? Thank God. he blocked him. But now he's got all the sycophants around him, and nobody's going to tell him no. Nobody. All right, ready? Let's go into the evidence. In this deeply alarming opinion piece in the San Francisco Chronicle, Brett Wagner, who served as a professor of national security decision-making for the U.S. Naval War College, raises the specter of Trump invoking the Insurrection Act and martial law. So there's a San Francisco Chronicle article, and the title is Trump preparing to invoke the Insurrection Act? Signs are pointing that way. A joint Department of Defense and Homeland Security report will soon recommend whether or not to invoke the Insurrection Act over illegal migration. So this guy wrote an article on this topic. Ready? In his day one fusillade of executive orders, Donald Trump signed declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States. This includes the following clause dictating that Trump's designated supplicants, Kristi Noem at DHS, and abusive crusader Pete Hegseth, submit a report with recommendations about whether to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. So, a day one executive order he signed said the following. You ready? Within 90 days of the date of this proclamation, the Secretary of Defense and the Secretary of Homeland Security shall submit a joint report to the President about the conditions at the southern border of the United States and any recommendations regarding additional actions that may be necessary to obtain complete operational control of the southern border, including whether to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. So he signed an executive order on day one saying, within 90 days, I want this report, and you guys are going to recommend do the Insurrection Act or don't do the Insurrection Act. Now remember, Kristi Noem and Pete Hegseth are some of the biggest psychos in the administration and some of the biggest sycophants in the administration. And likely what they're doing with this report is, what do we think Trump wants to hear? What do we think he wants us to say? And that's what they're going to put in the report. On Wednesday, and I can't believe I'm saying this with a straight face, Vice President J.D. Vance, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, and Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard made a big show of landing at the border of Mexico, which is a pretty remarkable thing all by itself. Why would people in charge of our national defense be meeting there? The plan, as I've reported now for months, is to create a North American empire from Greenland to Colombia. Trump's tariffs and horrific abuse of America's neighbors, the belittling of Trudeau, the saber-rattling in Mexico, Greenland, and Panama, are all pretext. And so he's talked about this before in detail. Was this ideology called technocracy, which basically started, I believe, in the 1930s. And the idea was politics is too messy, democracy is too messy, politicians are too messy. What we basically need is to be led by technicians and engineers and like scientists, and they make all the decisions. And they came up with this idea called the technate of America. And the technate of America, ready for this? This is the scary part. The technate of America stretches from Greenland down through Canada, down through the US, and it goes all the way to, I believe, Colombia. Almost all of those places Trump has been warmongering with. Panama, Greenland, Canada. So it looks like he actually is laying the groundwork to try to create the technate of America. Now, to make it even scarier, you have the grandfather of Elon Musk was a Nazi. He was interested in and believed in the technate of America, right? And it looks like it may have been the case. Elon was named after some character in some Nazi sci-fi book named Elon, right? And it looks like he may have learned either from his dad or his grandfather about this idea, which that guy deeply believed in, creating the technate of America. And now, of course, he's the shadow president and the co-president. And it looks like they're laying the groundwork to try to create the technate of America. Jesus Christ. All right, we're not done. Ready? Trump has effectively decapitated the military leadership, including replacing the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, a 4-star general who is black, with a 3-star MAGA TV personality with the nickname Raisin Cane. Trump fired all the JAGs, the people responsible for ensuring that the military stayed within the law, and has Hegseth running around doing things like canceling the plane that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima because it's called the Enola Gay. As Mike Flynn pointed out on December 17, 2020, martial law is a tactic well within their consideration. The Insurrection Act was repeatedly invoked in the lead up to January 6th as a potential way to prevent the peaceful transfer of power. Trump's lawyers got in the way last time because they feared the incoming administration. This time they will have no reason to fear at all. To get a sense of how far afield we are, here is federal judge Beryl Howell explaining the very basics of the Constitution as if to a recalcitrant second grader to Donald Trump after he illegally fired the head of the National Labor Relations Board. And then it goes on to give that quote. I note that 3 months after January 20th, 2025, when the executive order to determine whether to invoke the Insurrection Act was signed, is 4/20/25, so April 20th, 2025. 4/20 is, as noted in an SEC filing, a part of marijuana culture and a favorite meme of Elon Musk. There are dozens, if not hundreds, of examples of this. However, 4/20 is also Hitler's birthday and National Socialist symbolism, as I've extensively reported, is very important to Elon Musk, hence the multiple Zig Heils. As a sign of the potential actions of the Trump regime, given both its ferocity on one hand and its increasingly ineffectiveness on the other hand, here's the chief proponent of American National Socialism, aka the Dark Enlightenment, Curtis Yarvin, yesterday, practically begging for new and unprecedented abuses of the Richter scale, or the Trump regime will start to wither and eventually dissipate. And there you have his quote. If anyone thinks this regime would not consider invoking martial law on Hitler's birthday, you really got to reframe your thinking. The Nazis snuck in the back door and took over. We either squeeze them out or die regretting we didn't. Musk's Tesla stock is tanking. His rockets are exploding on a regular basis. He's deeply unpopular, but this will only make him more desperate. Head on a swivel, friends. In the meantime, enjoy the fireworks. And then he just shows Elon's rocket blowing up. So let's review. What are we talking about here? We are talking about Trump signing an executive order on day one, which says, hey, within 90 days, give me a report on whether or not to invoke the Insurrection Act at the southern border, right? So it would be deploying the military in the United States nominally over the southern border, right? Kristi Noem and Pete Hegseth are doing the reports. They are total yes men. They are total sycophants. They will put in that report whatever they think Donald Trump wants to hear, or Trump might even just outright tell them, put in the report to invoke the Insurrection Act. Then you also have this article in the San Francisco Chronicle, another person saying, yeah, I think it's very likely he's going to invoke the Insurrection Act. 90 days from when he signed that executive order is 4/20, which also has the added symbolism of the things we just discussed, right? So, I don't know, man. I'm hoping it's not true, right? I'm hoping it's not true. But, you know, Crystal made this point to me. Have you ever known Donald Trump? Let's say they release the report and they say, yeah, we think you should invoke the Insurrection Act over the border, right? Have you ever known Donald Trump to be like, I know you want to give me extra power, but I'm going to go ahead and pass on that right now, dog. All he cares about is money, power, and control. All he cares about. And so, it might happen. And then, of course, what'll end up happening if he invokes martial law on April 20th is that will be expanded out. So the Insurrection Act will be expanded out. It'll be nominally over the border, right? But then as time goes by, let's say you have huge protests in the streets fighting back against Trump, as we should. He'll just declare those protests illegal. He'll say, I already invoked the Insurrection Act. You guys know that we're at war at the border. You go out and protest. That's illegal activity. We're arresting you for protesting.
Now I'm thinking about brothers prophesizing, famine of the word, martial law. We're not going to be able to prophesize, you know, especially if groups go out and protest and this and that. And like he said, Trump turned that, of course, which is all made for it anyway. You know, Edom is trying to do a controlled demolition, break down and build up, which going back to Kyle Slav's book, The Great Reset, and pushing in, you know, getting this beast system updated, you know, which this system goes back to the pagan Roman Empire, all right, but it's being modernized and being updated to a digital society, you know, where he can have full control. It's all about control. It's not about money. It's not too much, well, power, you could say, but it's all really truly about control. All right. I wanted to bring these scriptures out because the Lord allowed this devil to declare martial law. Man, this will really change this place, and it will set this place in an uproar. You know, people will be fearing again like they did back in 2020 with the you know what. And the Lord is going to increase brothers' faiths. All right, because this has to be it. Shalimar, brother in the camp, once again, he showed me in his phone how you have all these signs that are happening in the heavens today. You know, he showed me collectively, like boom, 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 boom. You know, like the blood moon. Then you got like I'm like, damn. So we really here. All right, and brothers and you few sisters that are sincere in this truth, keep the faith and do well. Be diligent. So let's bring this out. Zechariah 14:1. Behold, the day of Yahweh cometh, and thou spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. So even at times back in the past, when we got taken down by different nations, you know, that's going to come back in a big way, right? You know, where they come into the city and they run right into your houses, you know, and snatch your ass up. All right. Do whatever they will with you. All right. Edom is that sword, you know, that whooping stick we say, but he's that sword, that punishment unto Jake. Matter of fact, Let me see if I can pull that up. Let me get that scripture. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17 and 13. It says, "Arise, O Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thou sword, from men which are thou hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world." So, we want to be delivered from the Most High's sword. All right. And it says, deliver my soul from the wicked. We want to be delivered from the wicked. All right. We're in a wicked ass society, and it's only going to get wickeder. It's going to get more wicked out here. It's going to get so bad. It's going to be so bad that people ain't going to be able to believe it unless they see it. And you going to see it, because it's going to be happening right before your eyes, man. It says, "O Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked." And that's what most of you Jake gonna want, but the Most High ain't gonna show no mercy, because you have shown no mercy. You took delight in your scorning. Scriptures say fools hate knowledge. Most High gonna say, and like he said in Proverbs, the 1st chapter, let them eat of the fruit of their own way. You didn't choose to listen to the Most High's counsels, which the Most High set up the prophets, the seers, to go out and teach this word. You despised it. You took it for granted. You wanted to make your own decisions and live in this world. Well, the Lord numbered you to the sword. So that day you're going to be overtaken by the wicked. It says, "Which is thou sword, from men which are thou hand, O Yahweh, from men of the world." So let's get back. Zechariah 14 and 2. "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city." So that's heavy. It said, look, "And the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished." So a lot of you Jake women out there, all right, you're gonna be ravished. That means being raped by militant men, and they good for it. That's a lot. That's see, these Jake women, man, these idiots here in America don't even understand the sinister, diabolical acts that Edom does in the military. They have no clue, unless one of your family members was there and they expose certain things to you. Most of all of these women that go to the military get raped. They get raped. I got a cousin, all right? I'm not gonna go into details, but I got a cousin, and she came back. This girl looked like Aaliyah, bro. Aaliyah, pretty. I'm talking about the Aaliyah, the singer that died. She pretty, skinny, She came back. She came back with a full set beard, a man's beard, and I'm telling you, she looked like Aaliyah. How you turn that into that? Anyway, also too, when these troops go into these other countries and they round them women up, in these other countries, they get raped. When they put them in these detention centers, they get raped. And they not only rape women, they rape boys, they rape men. This is a sick ass fucking world, man. And the Most High needs to destroy it, man. It's sick, man. And you women don't know the half. Neither do you care anyway. But it's going to come to you. It says, "For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled," meaning your house being broken into. You screaming and crying. Martial law coming down your block. Imagine you on your block seeing troops going into every house and knowing that they about to come into yours. What you gonna do? Looking out the window, trying to hide, lock the door, but then they bust down your door and drag you out. And he could come with a list, brothers. We already know. We had one dude with the chalkboard. Is Aaron Brown here? Aaron Brown in this house? Can you come out? All right, put them on the paddy wagon. You know, separating children, all that, man. Martial law is declared. You don't own shit. You don't even own yourself. They own you, and they can do whatever they like. So I hope and pray, Yahweh Bashim Shai, that he do declare martial law. Bring us into that next level of prophecy. Because at the end of the day, we're only going forward. We're not going back. And the more and more closer we get forward, the more Yahweh Bashim Shai's word is going to come to pass. Whether we live or die, this place, the Most High is going to destroy it. Whether we live or die, the Lord is going to destroy this place, man. So we pray for the kingdom. It says, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. It says, and half the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall the Lord Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations, as when he had fought in the day of the battle. Right. So I just wanted to bring that quick point out, you know, because martial law, like, you know, can't go into another city. 2nd Esdras 15, 2nd Esdras 16. These are prophecies. So let's bring this out and I'll close the show. Ezekiel 23 and 25. And I will set my jealousy against thee, and they shall deal furiously with thee. They shall take away thou nose and thou ears, and thou remnant shall fall by the sword. They shall take thou sons and thou daughters, and thou residue shall be devoured by the fire. They shall also strip thee out of thy clothes, and take away thou fair Jews. Because when they enter into the house and they riffle and they ravish the woman, you may come out butt-ass naked, man. Got you outside in front of all the neighbors and other people that's being seized on the paddy wagon, looking out the window, and you butt-ass naked on the ground, screaming. You know, might even be just getting put to death, make an example out of you. So listen, man, the Most High, Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, is coming cruel. That's written in Isaiah 13. He cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger. And we just read how the Lord said, it was probably King David. He said, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thou sword. Edom is the sword, right? He's that sword, that whooping stick to Jake. And he's going to have his way with you, right? He's going to have his way with you until Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai have his way with Edom. But see, the ones that's the Lord's going to show mercy to is the elect. Not you 2/3. You deserve punishment. So let's continue. Thus will I make thou lewdness to cease from thee, and thou whoredom brought from the land of Egypt. It says, so that thou shalt not lift up thou eyes unto them, nor remember Egypt any more. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will deliver thee into the hand of them whom thou hatest, into the hand of them from whom thy mind is alienated. So yeah, at the end of the day, you know, especially the tribe of Judah, they won't admit it until a ninja, YN, gets shot down in the street by a cop. That's the only time they would come out and express themselves. But if everything is going cool, right, then they won't admit it. That you can't stand these Edomites, and that even in closed doors, you talk about Edom. Family members talk about Edom, you know. But then when you go outdoors, you act like you in love with him, you know. You're fair, everybody's equal. But in indoors, in the houses, you know, among family members, you talk your shit until you express yourself when Jake gets shot down in the street by one of these Edomites, you know. So anyway, it says, and they shall deal with thee hatefully, and shall take away all thy labor, and shall leave thee naked and bare. And the nakedness of thy whoredoms shall be discovered, both thy lewdness and thy whoredoms. I will do these things unto thee, because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen, and because thou art polluted with their idols. So this is the reason why the Heavenly Father is going to bring great calamity, great tribulation, great destruction. He's going to be very cruel because of the wickedness of Jake. So if you think that you going to get away with doing what you want, you know, sinning, and you think you winning, what they say, if you ain't sinning, you ain't winning, and you're going to have it your way. Look, prophecy is called, the prophecy that's going to fit that bill is Jacob's trouble. And like it said, Jacob's trouble. Whether you believe you're an Israelite or not, if your father's seed, your father's line, lineage goes back to being one of the Israelites of the 12 tribes, you're an Israelite whether you like it or not, and you are in trouble. All right? So Lord willing, I hope you were edified. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Racha Kodash. Double honors to my apostles, elder bishops here in Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the Lord's elect. Shalom.